Today we're taking a brief video tour of our stellar tent sites, from Aster to Iris. We begin at the parking area and bathhouse. At the head of the trail are some wheelbarrows that you may use to help get your gear to and from your site. There is also a laundry room, dishwashing sink, and courtesy phone located at the bathhouse. Our sites are carved from the forest, so each one can accommodate a different maximum size tent. The first site is Aster. It is about 25 yards from the head of the trail. It can accommodate a tent up to 9 by 12. The site has a picnic table, level tent pad, and fire ring with fold-over grill. The next site is Blewett, about 35 yards from the parking area. It can accommodate a tent no larger than 11 by 14. In this site, the tent pad is on the left, fire ring with grill in the center, and picnic table on the right. We're continuing down the trail to Clover, which is the closest two-tent site to the bathhouse, at about 50 yards. The maximum size tents on this site are 11 by 14 and 8 by 10. It's a relatively open site, so you might get an occasional visit from a flying squirrel. When the leaves are gone, there will be a view of the next mountaintop. Today's guests have a shelter over their picnic table. It's a good idea to have that, or just a tarp, so you have a nice dry outdoor area if it rains. After all, this is a rainforest. The trail to the first three sites has been relatively level, but now we start to go down the hill a bit. We're headed down the trail toward Daisy. The sites are named for wildflowers and plants you find in the mountains. Daisy is approximately 100 yards from the parking area. A tip we've learned from our guests is to leave your clothes in your car, since you're probably going to be using them in the bathhouse. That's one less thing to carry up and down the hill, and your vehicle is pretty much guaranteed to be waterproof, but your tent may not be. As a reminder, your food should be left in your car at night and your trash taken up to the cans at the bathhouse on your last trip of the evening. Daisy is a cozy site with a tent pad of 8 by 10. The tent is visually separated a bit from the rest of the site by some trees, so you almost feel like it's in a separate room. Leaving Daisy, we head to Elder. The trail to the campsites takes a right-hand turn just past Daisy. The trail that goes straight ahead, Pan's Path, will lead further down the hill to our small waterfall. There are no campsites on that path. This is the halfway point on the trail, so we have a bench located here for your convenience. Coming up on the left, Elder is a two-level site, with the tent pad on the upper level and the picnic table and fire ring and grill are on the lower level. It can accommodate a tent no larger than 8 by 10. We don't have a site that begins with F, as we incorporated it into Galax, another of our two tent sites. We're in process of doing some work on Galax, so it'll look different when it's finished. But it's a tri-level site with one tent pad that can accommodate a 10 by 14 tent on the upper level. Then the middle level has the picnic table, fire ring, and grill, and the lower level with a 7 by 9 tent pad. Since the upper and lower tent pads are not within sight of each other, this really isn't a good site for campers with small children. Hemp is the next site. This site can hold a somewhat larger tent, up to 12 by 13, although there is a small one here now. Like all of our sites, it has a level wood chip tent pad, a fire ring with fold-over grill, and a picnic table. The final site on this portion of the trail is Iris. The remaining campsites are on a different trail. Some of Brevard's famous white squirrels have made it up the mountain to Ash Grove, so you might be able to see some while you're here. We're now about 200 yards from the bathhouse and parking area. Ours is a large site, and an 11 by 17 tent is the largest size that it will hold. This is also a good site for hammock camping. A couple of the other sites are too. The tent pad is in the rear of the site with the fire ring in the center between it and the picnic table. The sun rises over the next ridge, so especially in winter with the leaves gone, this site is best for early risers. Sites kudzu through nettle are on the next video. Happy camping!